Dear students, in this session we are going to see metallurgy. Under metallurgy, one more questions which are found in the book, which is very much useful for NEET preparation. When we discuss questions in one more questions, lot of auxiliary questions will be getting, and those questions will be very useful for NEET preparation. So let us go into the various questions found in the SCRT textbook under metallurgy. Near about 25 one more questions are given. When I start to discuss, you will be understanding the subject well. First question, bauxite has the composition. Option A is given as alumina, and the second one Al2O3 NH2, alumina with N molecules of water of hydration. And then third option Fe2O3 2H2. Of course, bauxite is alumina with N molecules of water of hydration. This alumina with the single molecule of water of hydration may be considered as diaspore, and as we know, Fe2O3 is hematite ore. Magnetite may be Fe3O4, likewise it goes on, but the major ore of aluminum is bauxite. We are extracting aluminum mainly from bauxite. Even in Hall-Héroult process, the alumina obtained from bauxite is used. So the correct answer is Al2O3 NH2O. Then second one, roasting of sulfide ore gives the gas A. Roasting of sulfide ore, maybe a metal sulfide, let me say. Roasting of a sulfide ore gives gas A. The sulfide ore may be MS or M2S, like that. Galena, zinc blend, and then copper pyrites. All those things are sulfide ores. When they are roasted in air, they give you a colorless gas. It is said to be a colorless gas. And this colorless gas in aqueous solution of colorless gas is found to be acidic. It is found to be acidic. And the question is, what is A? That's the question. Any sulfide ore, when heated with air, what is happening? The sulfide, metal sulfide will become metal oxide and sulfur dioxide. That is the usual equation. When we balance 2 oxygen, therefore 2M, therefore 2 sulfur, therefore 2 SO2. Totally 6 oxygen atom, therefore. This is how all the equations. If it is M2S, again it will be 2M2S, 3O2 gives 2MO plus 2SO2. All the sulfide ores, copper pyrite, galena, zinc blend, whatever it may be, they form metal oxide and sulfur dioxide. This is the gas. This gas in water, in aqueous solution, may form sulfurous acid, which is acidic, and therefore A is sulfur dioxide. Then question number 3, which one of the following reaction represents calcination? You are given with 4 equations, you will be seeing. Among them, in calcination, usually carbonate ores are hydrated salts. In calcination, the ore is burnt with absence of air or minimum supply of air, depending upon the requirement, minimum supply of air. That is known as calcination. Maybe calcium carbonate. When it is burnt, it may give calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will go off. Any hydrated salt, for example, even if you go for alumina with 2H2, maybe bauxite, when heated in the absence of air, the water of hydration will go off. So such reactions are referred as calcination. So calcination represents conversion of metal carbonate to oxide or removal of water of hydration, and therefore option C is correct one. Then the metal oxide which cannot be reduced to metal by carbon. Usually if you look at among the given options, lead oxide, alumina, zinc oxide and ferrous oxide are given. Among them, aluminium seems to be a reactive metal and therefore it cannot be reduced by carbon. Not only that, if you look at Ellingham diagram, delta G naught against temperature, usually carbon to carbon monoxide graph comes like this. But aluminium plus oxygen to give alumina, aluminium plus oxygen to give alumina. This graph goes like this. Carbon to carbon monoxide, this graph goes like this. So, since carbon is present above in Elegant diagram, the stable compound is alumina rather than carbon monoxide. So, carbon cannot reduce alumina into aluminium. It cannot take up oxygen from alumina, as Al2O3 is more stable than carbon monoxide. So, the correct option is B, alumina. Then fifth question, which of the metal is extracted by Hall-Héroult process? As we have discussed earlier, alumina. Here we take alumina from bauxite, that is the electrolyte. Along with that, we may be using cryolite and fluorspar. Cryolite is NaF, AlF3, that is 3 parts 3, and actual molecular formula will be Na3Al F6, we can say. And then fluorspar, calcium fluoride, they reduce the melting point, and the electrolyte is this one. Upon electrolysis using iron tank coated with carbon, negative electrode, and then carbon electrodes. Upon passing electric current, aluminium ion will migrate towards cathode. There they gain electron to become aluminium, and it can be collected here. So, aluminium is extracted by Hall-Héroult process. Then sixth question, which of the following statements about advantage of roasting of sulfide ore before reduction is not true? So, in the extraction of sulfide ore, actually you may be knowing sulfide ores are concentrated by froth flotation, and after that they have to be converted into their oxides. Metal sulfides are converted into their oxides, as we have discussed earlier, to become metal oxide and sulfur dioxide. Equation we have seen 2, 3, 2, 2. This is what we have seen just now. After converting it into metal oxide, it is reduced by suitable reducing agent, maybe carbon sometimes, you will be getting carbon monoxide. So, this is how we isolate metal. So, the metal sulfide has to be converted into metal oxide. Among them, what are the factors which are not true is given. Everything is true. Delta G naught of sulfide is greater than those of carbon disulfide and H2S in Ellingham diagram we can see. Delta G naught is negative for roasting of sulfide ore to oxide. That's why it is easy to oxidize. Roasting of sulfide to oxide is thermodynamically feasible. Yes, it is thermodynamically feasible. That's why we are oxidizing. Carbon, hydrogen are suitable reducing agents for metal sulfide. It is not the suitable reducing agent for metal sulfide, but suitable reducing agent for metal oxide. So, last option is not correct. So, that is the correct option here, not true, that is the correct option. Then question number 7. Match the items in column 1 with the items in column 2 and assign correct code. 1 is given a cyanide process. Cyanide process is associated with, so what are the options given the other side? Cyanide process is associated with extraction of gold. Option 4 is given, extraction of gold. So, both silver as well as gold can be extracted by cyanide process when it is treated with, you may be knowing, when gold is treated with potassium cyanide solution, aqueous solution in the presence of air. We may use potassium cyanide or simply cyanide ion. So, all the gold will become KAuCN twice, potassium aurocyanide. A complex we are getting, and then potassium hydroxide. Gold oxidation state +1. The coordination number for gold is 2, and therefore just 2 cyanide ligands are present. Total charge on cyanide -2. If we sum up, charge will become -1. Charge on the complex ion -1, therefore outside the coordination sphere K+. So how to balance this equation? Here we have 3 oxygen atoms, it cannot be 3, it should be an even number, therefore we put 2 here, 4 hydrogen, therefore 4. 4 potassium hydroxide. And then 4 plus 1, 5. We cannot have 5 as we need even number of cyanide. If I put 6, it can be only 2. Again, cyanide cannot be balanced. Next higher even number 8. Therefore 4. Balanced equation. 1, 2, 4, 8. So gold as well as silver can be extracted by cyanide process. Therefore, that is the correct match. Froth flotation. When we talk about froth flotation, always sulfide. Maybe sulfide may be given here. No, it is not given. Sulfide ore, all the sulfide ores can be concentrated by froth flotation process. But among the given, depressing agent zinc sulfide is associated with froth flotation. Here, the sulfide ore is mixed with pine oil, eucalyptus oil, and then sodium ethyl xanthate. These are all favor formation of froth. All right. But when we have 2 mixtures, maybe along with lead sulfide, maybe zinc sulfide may be present as impurity. We want to extract lead sulfide, but zinc sulfide should not interfere. So in the froth flotation process, if we use as such with the usual frothing agents, both will become froth, and therefore zinc sulfide may be eliminated by using depressing agent. The depressing agent is said to be sodium cyanide or sodium carbonate. These are depressing agents. When they are mixed, the zinc sulfide with sodium cyanide forms sodium zinc cyanide, Na2Zn Cn 4 times. Here potassium RO cyanide, there the molecular formula is KAuCN twice. Here it is Na2Zn Cn4. Note the difference. Here coordination number for zinc is 4, and the oxidation state for zinc is +2. 4 cyanide ligands are therefore -4. Total charge becomes -2. Since -2 on the coordination sphere, we have 2 sodium ligands, Na2+, 2 Na+. So it is a depressing agent which removes zinc sulfide, and therefore only lead sulfide will become froth, and therefore froth flotation is the match for froth flotation is depressing zinc sulfide. Depressing of zinc sulfide. Then electrolytic reduction. Electrolytic reduction is associated with extraction of aluminium. Alumina is extracted, aluminum is extracted from alumina. That's what we have seen earlier, Hall-Héroult process, and therefore third match is electrolytic reduction. Electrolytic reduction corresponds to extraction of aluminium. You can see there at the top. Zone refining. Zone refining method is used for getting ultra pure germanium. Maybe silicon, germanium, gallium can be extracted by zone refining in a long metal rod. Moving induction heater may be used. Zone refining is for the extraction of ultra pure germanium. So when it is heated, what is happening? When we heat the impure germanium and move from here slowly, the impurities will dissolve in the molten state, and therefore when we use the moving induction coil, the molten metal along with impurity. Mostly impurity will move along with the induction coil. And the left side metal starts to crystallize. Slowly, when we move from left to right, the impurities move to the left, move to the right, and the metals will be on the left. So this is how ultra pure germanium, silicon, gallium, etc. are obtained. So that is about zone refined. It is option 4. It is 4 depression agent zinc sulfide 2, and then extraction of aluminum 3, and then ultra pure germanium 1. So 4231. The option is C. Wolframite ore is separated from tin stone by the process of electromagnetic separation, because wolframite ore is magnetic. Usually tin stone ore is separated from wolframite by electromagnetic separation. Here the ore seems to be wolframite. It will become impurity. When it is allowed to fall on a moving belt, it may be electromagnetic roller, it is falling from here. So it is coming this way. The magnetic substance fall near the roller, and non-magnetic will be here. So wolframite being magnetic will be collected near, and the non-magnetic tin stone will be falling away. The same method may also be used for the concentration of chromite and pyrolusite. These are also magnetic ore. And non-magnetic siliceous matter, which are non-magnetic, can be separated by electromagnetic separation. So this method is exclusively for magnetic substance from non-magnetic impurity, or magnetic impurity from non-magnetic ore. Anything among the two, one should be magnetic, other one should be non-magnetic. And then ninth question. Which one of the following is not feasible? You are given with few equations where metal ion reacts with metal to become metal ion and metal. This is how it is given. Zinc copper. Let us compare zinc and copper. First one, zinc plus Cu2 plus gives Cu plus Zn2 plus. Option B, Cu plus Zn2 plus gives Zn plus Cu2 plus. So among the two, one should be feasible and other should be not feasible. That's what we feel, because both are reverse reactions. And it is based on electrode potential, standard electrode potential or reduction potential. We may be knowing that the reduction potential of zinc, reduction means Zn2 plus has to be reduced into Zn2 plus, Zn metal, Zn2 plus to become Zn. That is reduction. Here zinc is oxidized from 0 oxidations to 2 plus. Here Zn2 plus is reduced. In the first reaction, Cu2 plus is reduced to Cu0, whereas in the second reaction, copper is oxidized. Among the two, which one is feasible? If we find out, then we will be finding the answer. That's all. The reduction potential of zinc, Zn2 plus bar Zn, reduction potential, is found to be in negative minus 0.76, which is very common value we should know. And for copper, reduction potential is positive, Cu2 plus Cu is equal to plus 0.34. That means this is feasible and this is not feasible. That's the meaning. Negative means that may not happen, positive means that will happen. But in the combined reaction, if you go in for combined reaction, in the combined reaction, zinc when becomes Zn2 plus, Zinc when become Zn2 plus, that is oxidation, not reduction, oxidation. It will become plus 0.76 volt. And when Cu2 plus becomes Cu0, the reduction potential is plus 0.31. Therefore, for this reaction, combined reaction, it is plus 1.1 volt. So the potential involved in the reaction is found to be E0 is equal to plus 1.1 volt. That is, this reaction is feasible. Whereas for the second reaction, Zn, when it becomes Zn0, it is reduction, for reduction potential minus 0.76 volt. Here it is oxidized, and therefore it has to be reversed, and therefore the value will also be reversed. It will become minus 0.34 volt. If we combine, it will become minus 1.1 volt. It will not happen because the reduction potential is found to be minus 1.1 volt. So it is feasible, it is not feasible. B is not feasible. The question is which is not feasible, and therefore option B. Then 10th question, electrochemical process is used to extract among them sodium is the active metal, and which is extracted by electrochemical process, knowing delta G is equal to minus N of E naught. We may be knowing the free energy change is equal to minus N of E naught. If the potential is positive, for the particular process, it is feasible, and sodium is usually extracted by electrochemical process. Then 11th question, next question, flux is a substance which is used to convert. What is the role of flux? Flux may combine with impurities to form slag. This is the usual process. So, flux, mineral to silicate, no, mineral will not be converted. Infusible impurities, the impurities which are infusible. In the presence of flux, the melting point is lowered, it will combine with impurities and they form slag. Depending upon the impurity, maybe acidic means the flux will be basic. It is basic means it will be acidic. Silica, if it is impurity, the flux may be calcium oxide. So it is acidic impurity. The flux is likewise the interchange is also possible. Sometimes the impurity may be calcium oxide. We may have to add silica materials as a flux so that both will combine to form a slag. So option B is the correct one. Infusible impurities to soluble impurities, and they are removed as slag. It is soluble impurity removed as slag. Which one? 12th question. Which one of the following ore is best concentrated by Froth flotation method? Usually sulfide ores, and therefore among them galena is the sulfide ore. All are oxide ores. Therefore galena lead sulfide may be concentrated by Froth flotation process. In the extraction of aluminum from alumina by electrolysis, cryolite is added. Cryolite as well as fluorspar are added to reduce the melting point, so that the alumina will be in the molten condition and the electrolysis will be easier. In the electrolysis of alumina, Na3Al(F6) as well as CaF2 are used to reduce the melting point. So lower the melting point of alumina. Cryolite is used to lower the melting point of alumina. Even fluorspar is used to lower the melting point of alumina. Zinc is obtained from, 14th question, zinc is obtained from zinc oxide by carbon reduction. When zinc oxide is heated with carbon, it becomes zinc and carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide seems to be more stable than zinc oxide because it is below in the Ellingham diagram, and therefore carbon can reduce zinc oxide into zinc. Cupellation is a 15th question. Cupellation is the process used for the refining of most silver, lead, copper and iron are given. You will be seeing at the top. It is used for the refining of noble metals, gold, silver, platinum, etc., from the basic metals like lead, copper, zinc, and therefore the option is A, silver. 16th question. Extraction of gold and silver involves leaching with cyanide ion. Silver is later recovered by. All right. As we have seen earlier, maybe KAUCN twice or NaAgCN twice. Likewise, you will be getting coordination compound like this. As I said, it is +1, cyanide ligand -2, coordination number 2, therefore total charge -2. If you sum up, you will be getting -1, and therefore outside the coordination sphere we have 1. That's what we have seen, is it not? So we get sodium argentocyanide or potassium aurocyanide. The correct IUPAC name may be potassium dicyanoaurate 1, sodium dicyanoargentate 1, right. Here, extraction of gold and silver involves leaching with cyanide. Yes, we have leached with cyanide. And then silver is later recovered by. How to recover silver or gold, whatever it may be? NaAgCN twice. When it is treated with zinc, we can recover silver. Zinc will go here. When zinc go over there, the molecular formula may not be like this. As the coordination number for zinc is 4. Not only that, the charge on zinc is +2, not +1, therefore +2. Coordination number 4. So 4 minus, total charge -2, and therefore we need 2 positive charge in it. By treating with zinc, so the option is displacement with zinc. C option. Considering Ellingham diagram, which of the following metals can be used to reduce alumina? So considering Ellingham diagram, which of the following metals can be used to reduce alumina? So alumina, the one which is present below can reduce the one which is at the up. So the question is, which of the following can be reduced using alumina? So magnesium, only magnesium in Ellingham diagram, only magnesium is present below. Only after that we have alumina. So Al plus O2 gives Al2O3. Mg plus O2 gives 2MgO. Sorry, Mg plus half O2 gives MgO. Here, magnesium is present below aluminum, and therefore magnesium can be used to reduce alumina. Here it is delta G0 and it is temperature. So anything which is present lower can reduce the oxide in the upper, because MgO is stable than Al2O3 as delta G0 value is lower. All right. All others are present upper in the Ellingham diagram. Then the following set of reactions are used in refining zirconium. Yes. This is which method is asked. We know it is Van Arkel process. Not only zirconium, titanium is also refined. In what way? When they are made to react with iodine, only the metal get combined with iodine to become tetraiodide. Tetraiodide vapor will be pure form, and when it is decomposed, you will be getting pure metal. Zirconium as well as aluminum, titanium. Zirconium as well as titanium can be removed can be purified by, refined by Van Arkel process. The next one. Which of the following is used for concentrating ore in metallurgy? Concentration method, we have gravity separation. We have gravity separation. And then froth flotation, leaching, and then electromagnetic separation. These are all the concentration methods. Here leaching is given. Roasting is not the concentration. After concentrating, the ore is roasted to convert sulfide into oxide. It is not belonging to concentration. Froth flotation is also concentration. Therefore, both A and B, D option is the correct option. The next one. Question number 20. The incorrect statement The incorrect statement among the following is nickel is refined by Mond process. Yes, nickel is refined by Mond process. Titanium is refined by, as we have seen in the previous question, not only titanium, zirconium, refined by Van Arkel method, where the metal is converted into metallic iodide vapor in the pure form. Upon decomposition, we get pure metal. Zinc blend is concentrated by froth flotation. Yes, all the sulfide ore, zinc blend is ZnS. It is concentrated by froth flotation. Then last one may be incorrect. In the metallurgy of gold, the metal is leached with dilute sodium chloride. No, it is treated as sodium cyanide solution, not chloride solution, where they made this mistake, and therefore fourth option is incorrect. In the electrolytic refining of copper, which one of the following is used as anode? Usually in electrolytic refining, anode is made of the metal to be impure metal, cathode is pure. Impure, pure. It is pure, it is impure. Here in the extraction of copper, impure copper, copper sulfate and sulfuric acid. Upon passing electric current, copper will get dissolved and deposited on the cathode. This is how we make the method, and therefore anode is made of impure copper, B option. Which of the following plot gives Elegant diagram? We have seen several times. It is the plot of delta G naught against temperature. So B. In the Elegant diagram, for the formation of carbon monoxide, which is true? Likewise they asked. So in carbon monoxide, we may be remembering very well, almost all the metals we are getting graph with positive slope. Delta G naught T, for all the metals it will go in the upward direction only, for all the metals. But for carbon to carbon monoxide, we find negative slope. When carbon is burnt with oxygen, we get carbon monoxide, which is negative slope. And the meaning is, if we draw a line, it is slope. Slope means delta G naught, the difference in y-axis, in x-axis, that is T. Delta G naught by T is negative, delta T negative. So option C, that's what given. Then 24th question, which of the following reduction is not thermodynamically feasible? Again, if you look at A option and B option, among the one can be true one, because in one chromic oxide and aluminum, another one alumina and chromium. Cr2O3 plus 2Al gives Al2O3 plus 2Cr. Whether this is feasible, or Al2O3 plus Cr, Cr2O3 plus Al. Not feasible is asked. In aluminothermate process, mixture of chromic oxide and aluminum powder is taken. Mixture of chromic oxide and aluminum powder in the fire clay crucible, above which barium peroxide and magnesium powder. Chromic oxide reacts with aluminum to give alumina and the chromium. This is how the reaction goes. Alumina and the chromium. So this reaction is feasible. Why? Why this reaction is feasible? If we look at again Elegant diagram, delta G naught against T, the alumina seems to be stable because it is lower, and the chromium graph it forms higher. So this material Al2O3, when aluminum reacts with oxygen to become Al2O3, chromium reacts with oxygen to become chromic oxide. Among the two, it is more stable. It can take up oxygen from chromium to become aluminum, can take up oxygen from chromic oxide to become Al2O3, so that it will become stable. This reaction is feasible, it is not feasible. And not feasible is the correct option. The question is, which of the following reduction is not thermodynamically feasible, which is thermodynamically not feasible. And then, which of the following is not true with respect to Elegant diagram? Again, based on Elegant diagram only. Free energy follow a straight line. Deviation occurs when there is phase change. Yes, we get a graph. Whenever there is a phase change, it will move up. In the graph, when there is phase change from solid to liquid or gas, we find phase change. Free energy follow a straight line. Deviation occurs when there is phase change. It is correct one. The graph for the formation of carbon dioxide is a straight line almost parallel to the free energy axis. The graph for the formation of carbon dioxide, it goes like this. C plus O2 gives CO2. It is the only line more or less parallel, but not parallel to free energy axis. It is parallel to temperature axis, therefore it is wrong. Which is not true is asked, therefore B option is not true. The graph for the formation of carbon dioxide is a straight line, that is correct. Almost parallel to free energy axis is wrong. It is parallel to temperature axis. So that is the wrong statement. Other two should be correct. Let us see. Negative slope for carbon monoxide shows that it becomes more stable with increase in temperature. Yes, carbon monoxide graph comes like this. So C plus O2 gives carbon monoxide. This carbon monoxide is more stable at high temperature. Positive slope for metal oxide show that their stability is decreased with increase in temperature. When they go higher and higher, delta G naught value will be positive or less negative, and therefore stability get reduced. So option B is correct, and that is not true with respect to Elingham diagram. So we have seen almost all the book questions in metallurgy. When you start to analyze, it may be useful for NEET, and in the next class we will be seeing some more questions in this chapter which may be useful for NEET as well as IIT preparation. Thank you.